Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Fleming Film Show. Me, Robbie Fleming, and joining me as always is Mr. Justin Doyle. Hello, Justin. How are you?
Hey, pal, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. Apart from obviously hearing the sad news about the abortion law in America right now, yeah, everything's going well.
Yep, it's so much fun hearing about it. It's so much fun. It's all
Yeah,
anybody talks about. And there's protests and yeah. We take 5 steps forward and 10 steps back in America.
sometimes I feel like I know people that do that as well.
Oh, well, yeah, people do that for sure. But as a nation, we do the same.
Yeah.
But you were at a concert over the weekend. That was fun.
Yes, I
Green
went to
Day.
London for the weekend. Saw Green Day, for that Boy and Weezer. Just the break I needed after having obviously a terrible start to the year, and to get out all this negativity. I thought today we could talk about the top 10 worst films we think have brung to this year so far.
Wait a second. We're doing 10?
Which one did
I
you
don't
want to do? Five or
I only
10?
have five. I only have five. I only have five. I don't even think I have 10.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I only have 7 overall. So,
Tell you what,
I,
I'll rush over my 10 to 8, and then you can begin at 7.
okay. So you want me to do 7? Okay. I mean, I didn't see all of these movies. Like I'm looking at a list of the worst movies of this year, and there's movies that I haven't seen, like Big Bug, like 365 Days This Day. Um, Yeah, I haven't seen a movie called Good Morning. So there's some ones that I just didn't. I mean, I didn't check out, and obviously for a reason. Um, but I can add the other ones in. Let's see. Let me just
Can't
check.
you just add 3 that just disappointed you, like I did?
Well, that's what my list mostly is not only just bad movies, but it's movies that disappointed me because I was looking forward to it.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I did as well. Mainly with the top 3. Some of them I just thought it's not that bad.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I can add a couple real quick. Why don't you start off? Go ahead.
All right, so my number 10 was a movie I was really, really looking forward to. This was the first movie I saw in cinema this year. It is by one of my favourite filmmakers of all time, Mr. Joel Cohen. Is based on one of my favourite Shakespearean plays, and it's The Tragedy of Macbeth, starring 2 of my favourite actors, Denzel Washington and Frances McDormand. Now, do not get me wrong, this isn't a terrible movie in the slightest, because it's shot beautifully and the set design is immaculate. And on paper, with obviously Joel Cohen and Denzel Washington and Frances McDormand involved, this should easily be a favourite of mine. But no, because they've cut stuff out of the play, and Denzel and Francis couldn't reach the effort they could. I was just very disappointed with how this movie was executed, and that's why I had to put it on this list. I'm sorry because I know a lot of people like this film, but in my eyes, it was just a bit of a disappointment. It was overhyped.
You are crazy, sir. You are crazy.
Didn't you
Um,
listen to the bit where I said amazing cinematography and amazing production design?
I listened to every word, but yeah, it is a 2021 movie. I know that it doesn't come out until later for you, so that is crap. But I mean, it's also 92% Rotten Tomatoes, 75% on the audience score. So some do agree with you, but no one would say it was the worst movie of the year.
I'm not saying it was the worst. I was saying it was a disappointment.
Yeah, I suppose that is true. Um,
What do you think to
yeah.
this movie, in your personal opinion?
You know, I didn't love it, but I liked it, and I love Denzel in it, and yeah, that cinematography is amazing. But it just it was a little slow. You know, it's always hard when it comes to Shakespearean movies. But yeah, I mean, Denzel doing it that style is it could be it could go either way, and I think he pulled it off, but unfortunately,
I
you
think he
didn't.
pulled off. I think he pulled off the character. He just could have added a little bit more to it.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Like you know, as long as you actually suit the role, it doesn't matter which actor's playing Macbeth, as long as he suits the role. Like if I had to swap Denzel, it'd be Idris Elba.
Yeah, that I mean, he does speak British, right? He's British.
Yeah, he's from London.
Yeah, so I could see that. Um, okay, well, fine. If we're gonna do, let's see. Um, all right, I only was able to add two more. So if you want to do one more,
Right. My number 9 is a film that me and you have both talked about. It came out in January, I think, and it's The Tender Bar. Not a bad movie, again, just a really boring one. Ben Affleck is the highlight of this film, but the film falls flat because of how much of a drag it is. Now, don't get me wrong, William Monahan is a great writer because he wrote The Departed. That's one of the greatest movies of all time. But he just let himself down with this one. And I don't really like George Clooney as a director, so I kind of didn't really have much high efforts for this one either.
again, a 2021 movie. I know it came out later for you, but
And you, it came out in January on Prime.
on Prime, but it was in theaters in December.
Oh,
Um, and it was the only reason why Ben was could have been up for Best Supporting Actor. So, um, yeah, I like the Tender Bar. I like the relationship between him and his nephew, and I think it works. But I like seeing Ben in those type of roles. All right, I have a number 9.
hit it.
I'm putting it lower on the lowest on the list because in in theory this is not like the worst movie of the year, and it's not on any of the lists either. But it's one that I just think should have worked and didn't. In my opinion, I think it has a lot of. By the way, the Tender Bar is 51% rotten and 68% audience score. Uh, I know a lot of people love this movie, and it's definitely some people's favorite movie of the year. It just didn't hit home, and when you do a Disney Pixar movie, I want it to be great. And you started off really bad Disney Pixar because Turning Red just was not the movie that I thought it was going to be. I think it's fine. It's just I want more, you know, and you sometimes they just do stuff to put out something for kids to buy, and I think that's what the Red Panda is all about. I love that it has to do with, you know, girls growing up and going through puberty and maturing and stuff, and I think that's great for them. But as a 36-year-old man, this doesn't it didn't work with me.
As a 27-year-old man, it works with me. Explain that. I grew up in
You
the 2000s.
you have to explain it because I don't get it.
Yeah, because I grew up in the
Nine.
2000s, 2002. I remember being alive that year, so I want to see the story of it being take place. And it reminded me of Ladybird because of obviously it being set in 2002. Both movies are set in 2002. They are very similar movies to me, and because I enjoy Ladybird, I was looking to see Disney's kind of take on that similar story and add a little bit of fantasy into it, and that's why I was impressed with what they gave us.
Yeah, unfortunately, you can't see the great acting of these actors as you can in Lady Bird, and that's why Lady Bird hit more home is
But you
because the
see,
acting was so powerful.
but you see really good voice over performances.
They're okay. It's no
Jamie
Planet
Foxx and Soul.
no Planet of the Apes. It's no Andy Serkis. So it's fine, but it's no Andy Serkis. And like even Chris Evans, I don't think he did great voice
Yeah,
acting for Buzz Lightyear. I don't think he did great. Nowhere near Tim Allen. So
I thought Taika Waititi was good in that.
yep. Um, yeah, I don't want to diss on this anymore because it's fine.
Yeah.
It's just like
Besides, I kind of prefer Turning Red to Lightyear anyway.
Lightyear's a little more my speed. But 94% Rotten Tomatoes, 72 audience.
Why is it that with Pixar films, either I love it or you hate it, or vice versa? Why are we the exact
we
opposite when it comes to Pixar films? If I really love one, you don't like it, and vice versa. And I'm not big on Wally and Luca, as you know, but you love them movies, and I'm
yeah. Well,
pretty sure, and I bet you probably, and I obviously like Soul, and you think it's overrated.
I don't think it's overrated. I didn't like it as much as you did. And it was fine. Yeah, I mean, it's movies in the eye of the beholder, so that's the reason.
Actually, come to think about it now, we both have talked about that we both love Up and Inside Out.
Yeah, Up and Inside Out, yeah, and Encanto.
Yes.
All right, what's your number 8?
Right, and my number 8 is the last of the disappointing films. The rest of these just those shit as they go along. But I was really disappointed with Michael Bay's recent feature, Ambulance. So this stars Jake Gyllenhaal and Yahya Abdul-Mateen too. He played these adopted brothers who become bank robbers, and they hijack an ambulance and they take the ambulance crew hostage. I watched this with my friend, so we both wanted to see it in cinema, but we couldn't have the time, so I watched it online instead. And I was really disappointed because I felt like it was too slow. Like it was more about the chase rather than the action. To win Michael Bay, I expect a lot of action, like with Bad Boys, and with the Transformers films, and I didn't really feel like he could have brought enough action as he could. Yeah, just thought he would do a bit more out with this one, especially after making Six Underground just going completely all out on a really bland script.
Yeah, I think with what he had, just the ambulance and the actors, I think he did a really good job, and I like the movie and I love the ending. And yeah, it may be in my top for next week, so we'll see.
Fair enough.
Um, this is one of the only ones that's made any money out of the four that we've talked about because of pandemic. Uh, 51 million gross worldwide. It doesn't give it the box office budget.
Yeah, on most of them, most of mine are Netflix films. I don't know whether they even had a cinema release.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh well. Yeah. I mean, a lot of these are going to be pretty tough, but we'll look into it. Yeah. None of mine that made any money for sure. But we'll see.
Yeah.
Turning Red only had 19 million. 69% for Ambulance on Rotten Tomatoes, 88% audience score. So they are like me and
Well,
enjoying
maybe
it.
if I give it a second watch another day, then maybe I might like it more.
I
I don't think it will be on my on like my. I don't think it'll be on my bottom of the year. I reckon there'll be other crap films to come along.
Yeah. Um, I in the theater it worked. Like it was really good in the theater. So maybe that's one of the reasons.
Yeah.
My number 8 was just to throw another one on here. I didn't hate it, but it's definitely nowhere near the original. Because of who's in the original, of course. I think it's a great remake for the platform that it's on, which is Disney Plus. I think it's fun for the family and fun for children, and it's called Cheaper by the Dozen.
I've not seen this one. What makes it so bad?
Well, again, it's not that it makes it so bad, but it's like when you have Steve Martin in the original, there's one of the greatest comedic actors ever, and then you try to get Zach Braff in this one, who is a fine actor, but he's just, yeah, the story was fine. He's trying to make a sauce, get his merchandise off the ground, and he's married to Gabrielle Union. And of course, her ex doesn't like her dating him, and vice versa. So there's a lot of that going on.
Look,
But
I'll tell you where Zach Braff has his strength in directing.
yeah, he's got a couple of good. Yeah. 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 I mean, it's not horrible. It didn't come up on any of the lists that I looked over for the worst movies of the year, but it's just it's never going to live up to the original. So that's why I had to put it on here, and to give me one more movie to talk about.
Fair enough.
But it's
Fair enough. I've not seen this one.
Yeah, it's not horrible. I like I said, I think kids and families like this, and it's good for them.
Right. You ready for my number 7, because this is where things get really bad.
Oh boy.
So
yeah,
my number 7 is the only international film to appear on this list. This is by one of the greatest directors in French cinema history, Jean-Pierre Jeunet, who made Amélie. Masterpiece, right? Amélie is a masterpiece, that in your head. And then you watch this movie that's made 20 years later, and you're like, this is not the same bloke who made this movie, as this is ugly, acted horribly, looks really bad, and the story is just so bland, because it's just set in one room, and you have this big, interesting concept, and you just do nothing with it, and that's Big Bug.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one.
You have to see how crap it is. If you watch this movie, this would be on your list straight away. You wouldn't even think twice.
This is one of the movies that came up a bunch on the list. Yeah. By the way, real quick, Cheaper by the Dozen was 35%. Rotten and audience score 37%. So everyone's in consensus with that. But yeah, tell me more about Big Bug.
Yes, so yeah, like I said, I had really high expectations for this because it's the same director as Amélie. I've only seen one of his other movies. That's Alien, the fourth one. Yeah, the one with Sigourney Weaver and the Winona Ryder. Cody will tell me what it's called. I think it's Resurrection. Yeah, so Alien Resurrection. Yeah, he directed that, and Amélie is his best. I do want to check out more of his filmography, and I just so hope they are better than Big Bug.
What is Big Bug?
So basically, it's about this futuristic French town with all these people come over for a party, and the compliances turn evil.
Okay. That's hilarious. 46% Rotten, 44% audience score.
And what's the IMDb score? So I swear it has a very crap rating on IMDb.
It's 5.4. Cheaper by the Dozen had less. 4.3. So Turning Red 7.0. Yeah, this one came up in a lot of research, so I'm assuming that it is one of the worst ones out there. But just by this trailer, it's not looking too good.
It sounds like you just avoid all the crap ones on Netflix, so they didn't watch Resort to Love either.
Yeah, there's a couple more. Well, you'll see coming up. There's a couple more Netflix. My number 7 is not a Netflix movie, but is a streaming movie. Also came out in theaters simultaneously. It's also a remake. Came out on Peacock, starring Zac Efron, and it's called Firestarter.
That is on my list. Yes. So we do agree. So yeah. Wait, you lied to me. You said we have no matches.
When we only had 5. When I only had 5. We didn't have any matches in my top 5 because I thought we were only doing 5 movies, not 10. So I had to add Firestarter because it was a it was a disappointing movie, but I think when the original is kind of like, I haven't seen it, but it's kind of crap too. Like if you were to watch it today, it's nowhere. It's not going to live up to its name
It
anymore.
might be better because it looks like it has a better cast in it.
Thanks, that guy from. Well, yeah, Drew Barrymore as a young lady. So, but yeah, I don't know. I didn't really hate this one, but I also wasn't expecting much, which is probably why. Same thing with like Cheaper by the Dozen. It's like I wasn't expecting much, but yeah, it's not a great movie. I do like the bit with the that old man, the drunk old man, John Beasley. I thought he was a good character, but yeah, Zac Efron as a dad who's like dad of a teenager isn't really believable, and yeah, I don't know. Maybe the original is better. Uh, yeah, I don't have a lot bad things to say about this because I didn't have high expectations, but this is definitely one that was on a lot of lists of the worst of the year, and yeah, I didn't find it too bad.
I just fully went in blind, but I'll tell you I'll tell you all about it in a bit.
Yeah, 11% Rotten, 47% on audience score. So I think just like me, like it wasn't bad. I would give it like a
Would you
47%.
consider me a critic or a reviewer? Because I'm not. I don't have any like film criticizing like qualifications. I just write what I think of the film.
No, I know. I'm just saying that for me and this Firestarter movie, the audience and I agree it's about a 47% movie. It didn't have anything to do with you, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, you have more to say about it, so we'll talk more about it later.
Yeah. So you ready for my number 6?
It also came out in the wrong time. Like this movie came out last month, and it should have come out, closer to, October maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Probably would have still been shit.
Well, yeah, it's not gonna make it any better, right?
Yeah. Right, you ready for my number 6?
I'm ready.
So this director, Adrian Lyne, he returns from directing after 20 years. And after watching this film, it makes me think that he should have just stayed in retirement. This stars Anna de Armas and Ben Affleck, and it's Deep Water. It is an erotic thriller, and as you know, Justin, I do not like erotic thrillers, and this one was the worst of the erotic thrillers I don't like. The Handmaiden is an exception, but I just don't dig erotic thrillers. It just feels like you're watching softcore porn.
There's barely any sex in this movie or softcore porn. Barely.
It felt like it could have been a softcore porn.
I mean, I kind of wanted more of it. Like, give me more. That means hopefully naked Anna de Armas, right?
Yeah, but there'll be a lot to see of that in Blonde in September.
She's not going to get naked.
I don't know. I've heard it's got a very high rating, this film.
I like Deepwater. I really enjoyed that Hulu movie.
It's an Amazon Prime movie over here.
Oh, yeah, because you guys don't have Hulu.
We have Disney Plus Star, and it's better.
Yeah, I like Deepwater, and I like both of the actors, and I think they both did a
Ben
good job.
Affleck is awful in this film. He's going back to his old Daredevil days in this film, not his Argo and the Town days or Gone Girl.
He is not blind in this movie.
I said awful.
You said Daredevil.
Yeah, I said his acting's terrible, like in that movie.
No, you are so crazy.
How am I crazy? I know bad acting when I see it.
That is not bad acting by Ben Affleck in this movie. There's no way you can say that.
Do you think Daniel Day-Lewis is terrible?
We're talking about one of the greatest and has multiple Academy Award wins for acting compared to somebody who hasn't been nominated for an acting role.
Ben Affleck's won 2 Oscars.
but not for acting, which is what I was talking about. So it's like you saying, the AAA baseball player and then, a major leaguer. It's like, okay, I mean, you're talking about two different genres here. So, no, I do not think that Ben Affleck is anywhere near Daniel Day-Lewis. Deepwater has 37% critic and 23% audience. I would give it a lot higher. Anything else you want to say about Deepwater?
I just don't like erotic thrillers. Is there a genre you don't like?
No, I like them all. And I think that if you're looking for erotic, this is not the movie that you would go. People would look for something else. This is barely erotic.
Yeah. I think I'd rather watch The Handmaiden, which is a Korean erotic thriller and has actual sex scenes in.
There we go.
So much better and interesting movie.
Because of the sex.
I find sex scenes funny.
All right. Well, my number 6 is not funny at all, and you would think it is because there are two actors in it who play comedic roles. Maybe not all the time, but definitely have been known for a few comedic roles. And then their co-star in this movie was just totally flat for me. I would think that with just these three as the only cast in the movie, that it should have worked because Jason Segel, Jesse Plemons, and Lily Collins are great actors, and I don't think that Windfall worked as well as it could have.
This was an honourable mention for me. It was I found Jason Segel's acting awful in this film, and I found that the writer has made one of the greatest crime thriller movies of all time, Seven. See, this is what I was thinking about on my list. Thinking it's great writers who are writing really bad movies.
Yeah, well, Jason Segel helped write it, so that's why I think it kind of went.
If
by
David
the wayside.
Benioff ever makes a good movie after Game of Thrones, after making that horrible Game of Thrones ending, I'm gonna write to his house saying, I'm gonna write my letter saying, why couldn't you put that much effort into last season of Game of Thrones?
Yeah, can't change the past, can we?
No, we can't.
But it's a movie where all three characters stay in the house the entire time, and I just think that it was miscast. Like, I think Jason Segel was the best casted in this bad movie, where Jesse Plemons and Lily Collins could have been just anybody else, and it would still not have worked.
If you wanted or maybe actor in Jason Segel's role, wouldn't Casey Affleck be better? Because he's a bit more creepier, a bit more awkward.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe they were just going for a more comedic take in here because he is kind of like a bumbling idiot. But
Jason Bateman, he does both perfectly.
Yeah, he does. But yeah, after seeing Jesse Plemons in Power of the Dog and seeing him in this, it just didn't. It was such a downplay, and with these three actors, I was just expecting more. So that's why Windfall is my number 6. Rotten Tomato score 60%, 37% audience.
So, let me make my grand entrance before announcing my number 5.
Oh boy.
My number 5 is an internet sensation.
Is it?
Yes, this is a spin-off movie from both Sony and Marvel, and it's Morbius.
Why is it a sensation?
Because everybody makes memes about it, saying it's morbing time or it's the greatest Marvel film ever made.
Good one.
So let me tell you, Justin, this is not the greatest Marvel movie any made. It's one of the worst Marvel movies ever made, and you can tell it's going to be terrible as soon as you see the opening titles. It's that bad. Whilst Matt Smith puts on a really good performance, everything else is terrible. Jared Leto is terrible. Tyrese Gibson is terrible. The woman in it is terrible. The story feels like it's been cut down from 2 hours to an hour and a half. The editing is just so dodgy, and the whole story just feels like it just doesn't get to any point. Like it starts off a scene and then just continues in another scene, so we never really like see his origin actually play out or like any of his like purposes or meanings to the story. And plus the CGI just looks really terrible. As I said, Matt Smith can't save this movie. I just knew it was going to be a bad movie as soon as I saw the titles. I will watch this again to see if it becomes like bad silly like Spider-Man 3, but Morbius. I'd still say for some reason I think the Venom Let There Be Carnage was worse. For some reason.
You think it's worse than Morbius?
What, Let There Be Carnage?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because it's
Yeah.
a bit too
It is
cheesy.
worse.
Whereas this one just was made badly.
I liked it. So
Yeah,
I
you
liked
probably like it
Morbius.
because it's bad.
That's not the reason why I like it, but $75 million budget, worldwide gross 163.8, so it did pretty well.
I saw it
16
opening night.
16% Rotten Tomatoes, 71% audience score.
That's
I
clearly a
agree with
troll. That's
I
clearly a
agree
troll.
with them. 5,000 plus verified ratings, 71%. I agree. I liked it.
Fair enough.
Do you have anything else you want to say about Morbius?
Yeah, I think that I just really just wish they just had a director's cut of this movie now.
Maybe on DVD or something?
Yeah, raw streaming.
Well, they're not going to put the director's cut on streaming.
They might do.
Yeah, I liked Life from him. That's too bad.
I've always wanted to see Safe House from the director.
Yeah, I've seen that. That's okay. I mean, two great actors. You would think it would be amazing, but yeah, I liked Morbius. It's too bad that you didn't like it. That was your number 5?
Yeah, that was my number 5.
All right. My number 5, I don't even know where you can see this movie. I believe it's on streaming somewhere. You can rent it on Vudu or probably you can rent it on Amazon. Don't buy the DVD. This movie is normally something that I would enjoy. It's some fantasy. It's kings and queens. It has some, pretty solid actors in it. It's a period piece, just totally stuff right up my alley. And this didn't work out. Pierce Brosnan didn't work out. Neither did Miss Kaya Scodelario in The King's Daughter.
I've not seen this one, so tell me all about it.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. I mean, maybe the fantasy element of it was what didn't do well for me, but I would think that it would. But yeah, I'm a big castles guy. I love the kings and queens stuff. Like I said, I love period pieces. Maybe I just went in thinking that it was going to be maybe more on the Game of Thrones sort of thing, and we just didn't get that at all. We got corny family fun, and yeah, it just didn't work out for me. I mean, you got William Hurt in there, and that's all the other big names, so that should tell you. And then the director, I don't even know what he's done. Sean McNamara, direct. Yeah. He did Cats and Dogs 3, Paws Unite. Miracle Season. So yeah, he's done a lot of family movies, or he did Soul Surfer, or like Christian movies. So It seems like that's it. Yeah, he did Raise Your Voice, which is another Christian movie. Ooh, he did Three Ninjas, High Noon to Mega Mountain, High Noon at Mega Mountain. Have you seen any of the Three Ninja movies?
No, what are they?
It's just three kids who get trained by their grandfather to be ninjas, and it's just fun, bad stuff that happens. This movie was on a lot of lists that I saw when I was doing the research. It was definitely in the top, uh, as will be my number 4, but we'll let you go with your number 4. Rotten Tomatoes score for King's Daughter is 20%, 81% on audience score. So I don't know what's going on there.
So you ready for my number 4?
Let's hear it.
So do please do not get this all wrong. I absolutely love Rebel Wilson. She is hilarious. But I just did not like her newest movie on Netflix, and this is senior year.
Why?
It just felt too cheesy, cringy, lazy, cliched. The acting was cringy and absolute dreadful. It just kind of felt like a typical Netflix film because I like Isn't It Romantic, but I feel like they have now just are just trying to make like she's starting to become Melissa McCarthy. Now she's made one good movie. It's all just going to just repeat the same formula over and over again and put her in these crappy Netflix films forever.
Yeah, that's a pretty fair statement. Yeah, I mean, we've also seen this before. Somebody, well, I guess instead of knocking their head and waking up thinking that they're hot or whatever, she was in a 20-year coma and wakes up and now wants to go back to high school to finish, to graduate, to be the prom queen. I didn't hate this movie. I don't think it's definitely not in my top favorite or anything, but yeah, I thought it was fun enough. 24% on Rotten Tomatoes, 48% audience score, and I would agree with the audience there. I like some of the other characters in this movie. Mary Holland was fun. Yeah, but I do completely agree that she's becoming just kind of a one note and just hitting the same one every time, hoping that she keeps striking with the lightning in a bottle. But
Just because she made 2 really good movies in 2019 and two bad ones as well that year.
yeah, that's too bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she looks great, right? Good for
Yeah,
her.
she
She
looks
lost a lot of
great.
weight.
No, I saw her when she hosted the BAFTAs and she lost loads of weight.
Mm-hmm.
Fair play to her.
Yeah, she hasn't been doing a lot lately, maybe because of the pandemic. But yeah, I don't know. She also has something called The Almond and the Seahorse coming out. It's in post production, so we'll see what happens there. Charlotte Gainsborough's in it.
What's your number 4?
All right, my number 4 is it's just a bad movie. I didn't anticipate it being good. And even with zero expectation, I still did not like this movie. And it's exactly the same for the same reason that you just said about Melissa McCarthy and that last lady,
Rebel Wilson.
Rebel Wilson. It's because we know what we're getting if we ever see the name Liam Neeson in a movie. And his first one of 2022, because he does have 2 out right now, is called Blacklight. And this is a movie that's made for me, and it just was horrible.
I've
Like
heard this one's bad.
yeah, action wasn't good. I mean, it's just sad to try to see Liam Neeson try to fight people half of his age, anymore. Because when did Taken come out? Early 2000s or whatever.
2008.
Yeah, later 2000s. Like now he's 14 years older, so he's just a lot more stiff, doesn't have the agility that he used to. And yeah, I guess this is an old film as well, but even Rotten Tomatoes is like, turn it off. it's just some weird directions going this way and that way, and it's not even like a fun guilty pleasure. It's just bad, bad, bad. This was going to be my number one, but then I, because it is the worst movie so far, but I wasn't disappointed because I knew going in it was going to be crap. Rotten Tomato score is 9%. Audience score is 82. So I don't know what the hell's going on there. But this was definitely on a lot of lists, and it's on mine for worst movie of the year.
I'm glad it didn't. I'm glad I didn't see it then.
Yeah, but he also has another one called Memory, and it was fine. It's fine. It's better than Blacklight, that's for sure. I mean, it's still the same bullshit, but it was better this time than the last. So.
Fair enough. Right, are you ready to hear my number three?
Give it to me.
Right, so my number three is a installment of a horror franchise that just can't admit it should have just been a one-hit wonder. The original one is an absolute masterpiece. It is a shame that this installment was just absolute atrocious and just so uncomfortable to watch. I'm talking about the newest installment from Netflix of Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah, this was on a lot of lists as well. What didn't you like about it?
There was so the original film doesn't have much blood in it for a horror film, but this one was just crawling in it. You might as well just have the whole thing covered red and just have blood in every scene, and it just kind of did nothing to elevate the plot or anything. And I just thought it was an absolute horrible mess of a movie. I don't know why Netflix put their good money into this film.
Well, remakes do okay, and then when you are a franchise as big as Texas Chainsaw Massacre is, I believe they thought that they were going to, you know, get a home run. I didn't hate this movie. I like the production design of it because you can tell that they're on a lot, and I just thought that was, it fits with the rest of the craziness that's going on in this movie.
Definitely.
But I didn't have any expectations going in, so that may be the reason why that I enjoyed it more than you did, just because I didn't even care for it. I didn't even know that it was coming out.
I don't know why, but I just have a feeling that two of your films are going to be ones I actually like.
Yeah, probably. 32% on Rotten Tomatoes, 26% audience score. So they agree. Yeah, I thought it was fine. For an hour and 21 minutes, you can do a lot worse, in my opinion.
Yeah. So while I make a quick drink, tell me your number three.
Okay, my number three is it's not a bad movie, and I didn't have like high expectations for it, but I don't know. I felt maybe like I don't know. It's called Father Stew, and it's Mark Wahlberg doing a biopic about Stuart Long, who was a boxer turned priest, and then he ended up inspiring a lot of people during his journey. And yeah, it's Mark Wahlberg as Father Stew. You also have Mel Gibson in this movie and Jackie Weaver. So to me, this is something that I would love, and it just didn't work. I think
You want my honest
Mark Wahlberg.
opinion, Justin?
Huh?
You want my honest opinion? What it sounds like?
What?
A rip-off of one of our favourite movies.
The Fighter?
Yes, The Fighter. It seems like a rip-off of The Fighter.
I guess maybe a little bit, but I just didn't. Mark Wahlberg's performance wasn't great, and I know he's not always good, but it just wasn't great.
He's brilliant in The Departed.
Yeah, he's fine. He's not always perfect. So
And in Boogie Nights, he's good.
What?
In Boogie Nights, he's good as well.
Yeah, he's all right. Like, he has his moments, but I just think this is not one of them. And yeah, like, this is based off a true story. And
So you'd say The Fighter is his best?
I think The Fighter is his best. Yeah. The ending is really sad, but again, I don't think that Mark Wahlberg pulled it off enough. And I think the love interest was it didn't really sing to me. It didn't buy
Has Mel not learned he's a better director yet?
I don't think he has.
Well, surely his last movie, which was a masterpiece, surely that should say something about him being more successful as a director.
The last movie is a masterpiece that he did.
Axel Ridge.
Well, directing, you mean? Yeah. I
Yeah.
thought he was. I liked him in Fat Man and Dragged Across Concrete. I thought he was good in both of those movies.
Fair enough.
Ooh, Lethal Weapon 5. Nice. We'll see if that happens. Yeah, I mean, this isn't a horrible movie. I guess, for what it is and what it was, meaning like the type of movie that it is and who's in it, it totally should have been a movie that I loved, and I just didn't. So Father Stew is my number 3.
My
Let's
number
see what.
two
Let me see
features.
what. Hold on. Let me see what the Rotten Tomatoes page real quick. 43% tomato, and then 95% for the audience. So you decide. All right, what's your number 2?
My number 2 is a spin-off movie from a franchise that Disney have acquired and clearly can't just put to rest. So I think what happened with this movie is Simon Pegg wanted a Disney film, but because they still own the right to this franchise and he was in this franchise, this is all they offered him, and he reluctantly said yes. But none of the iconic cast come back. There's no Ray, no John, no Queen Latifah. I'm talking about the Ice Age franchise. If you haven't clicked on, and this is the Ice Age Adventures of Buckwild. Have you ever seen any of them direct to DVD Disney films? Like Aladdin?
No.
Yeah, it feels like what basically it feels like one of them.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't seen this either.
And you probably don't want to for what I'm saying right now.
Well, also, it seems like the animation changed, right?
It's awful. It's
Yeah.
absolute awful. It's not on the budget Blue Sky actually put heart and soul in to Ice Age. Granted, the other two weren't that good, but at least they had a little bit of heart in them.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
this one
Why?
just looked heartless.
I also thought this was just it was a like a TV series they were doing. I wonder if that would have
It was meant
it
to
would
be.
have
It was
benefited.
meant to be the pilot episode.
Oh yeah.
It's like that Clone Wars movie, the animated.
Oh my God. This can't be right. It says its budget was $245 million. There's no way.
Probably.
No way.
Probably, and that probably went on Simon Pegg's wages.
Yeah. I stopped watching these after like the second or third one, I think. 17% on Rotten Tomatoes, 39% audience score. I'm sure a bunch of kids got in there. But yeah, no old actors. None of the old school actors. That's too bad.
Only Simon Pegg.
Only Simon Pegg. Okay. Yeah, I saw that.
What's your runner-up?
I saw the Buck one on a lot of the top worst ones of the year too.
Yeah.
This one was not on one of the worst of the years, but to me, it just was disappointing. Again, it just seems like something that I would love. We have a road trip movie. We have Channing Tatum. We have a dog. And the movie Dog did not work for me.
I want to watch it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm sure, you'll get some tears out of yourself and all that. But I did not. I just thought it was really flat. I think I knew what was coming and how it was going. Channing Tatum is somebody who's in the service.
I saw The Lost City, and that was okay.
I liked The Lost City, yeah. That was fun, but it knew what it was, It was trying to be fun. It was trying to be silly.
Yeah,
this one's trying to be
about it.
Yeah, this one's trying to be serious, and it just doesn't work for me. Channing Tatum is fine. He's always his charming self, but you can't sell a whole movie based on your charms, and it doesn't work. But yeah, I don't know. It's too predictable. It's not a great road trip movie, and if you're gonna bring a dog into it, then I definitely want something that's gonna pull at my heartstrings, and none of that happened in this movie.
Right. What's the
So,
score on this one?
pretty good. 77% Rotten, 89% audience score. I know I'm in the minority. I didn't like
This
it.
one didn't come out of my cinema, so that's why I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, it's streamable. You can rent it. Yeah. I wouldn't waste money on it. Wait till it's free.
Yeah, that's what I do normally.
Yeah.
Wait till they're free. Then
All
we
right.
can't
Well,
complain.
I guess we know what your number one is.
Yes, Firestarter.
Yeah. Why did you hate it so much?
Because it just feels like easy cash. It just felt like a remake that they just they said from an 80s movie and just made it a load of crap. Like Zac Efron just accepts any job that comes to him. And I didn't even think he read the screenplay twice before he read this. With a real actor would have read the screenplay, thrown at the producer's face and said no way, but because it's Zac Efron, he accepted it.
Yeah.
And also the production just feels just so cheap. Like the effects feel horrible, and it just doesn't bring the entertainment value. I think this
Yeah.
will be a contender for the Golden Mushrooms this year.
Oh boy. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's on my list too, so it's definitely one of the worst of the year. And maybe the original's better. But yeah, like I said before,
I hope it's better than this crap anyway.
What is?
The Firestarter original.
11% tomato, 47% rotten audience score. Let's see what the original Firestarter is. Let's just take a peek. Firestarter. There it is.
I like the song
1984.
Firestarter by The Prodigy as well. I wish that song was in the film. I met the lead singer before he passed away.
Oh, nice. 37% with the 53% audience score. So it sucked both ways. So all right.
Hopefully the original sucks less.
Yeah. Well, again, for its time, I'm sure that they thought it was a lot better than it was, but nowadays doesn't add up. And what didn't add up for me was my number one worst movie of the year. High anticipation, acting. The actors in it are ones that why wouldn't I go see a movie with these actors in it? I felt like this movie was miscast. I felt like it had no storyline or anything for 45 minutes. And then once it finally started kicking in, that's when everything kind of felt like it was rushed and it didn't need to be. I feel like you take a lot of the chunks out of that first 40 minutes and add a lot more into the second half of this movie, or the last 30 minutes of the movie, because that's all that this movie was worth watching, and it's the only thing that's worth talking about it being good in any way, because I disliked Spiderhead very much. And that's why it's my number one. When you have Chris Hemsworth, Miles Teller, you should have one of the greatest movies ever.
I like this film.
No, I know. And instead you give, just crap. I mean, nothing happened for the first 40 minutes, nothing.
But that's what I liked about it.
How could you not like anything happening? I mean, in a movie, you need stuff to keep
There
moving you along.
There were sex scenes and they were funny.
They weren't even sex scenes. This is erotic. This is the erotic porn that you were talking about earlier, where Deep Water did it right. Spiderhead did it wrong. I mean, it's got a great concept. It's got a great story, but it just fell flat. And I do think that Chris Hemsworth.
I want to see him play more villains.
He was so miscasted. Very bad.
Who would you?
One of the worst.
Who would you have casted?
One of the worst performances I've seen from him.
Who would you have casted?
I don't know. I don't even think about that
There,
stuff.
there you go. There you go. You just answered your question. Nobody else could have played this role but Chris
No,
Hemsworth.
no. Well, I mean, if I had however long they had to think about it and cast it, I could definitely do a better job. But you're putting me on the spot. I have no effing clue because the movie sucked. The movie sucked, and Chris Hemsworth was very much miscast.
It's
It
made by
could
the same team that has made one of the greatest movies of this year. How could you think it's crap when it's shot by the same cinematographer and shot beautifully?
the same cinematographer as Maverick. They're outside up in the air on freaking jet planes. They're in 2 rooms in this movie. 2. How can you have good cinematography in a
There's a lot
room?
of nice shots of the island and the ending.
Oh, yeah, cool drone shots. So awesome cinematography. I mean, there's just a lot of flaws in this movies. There's more goofs than there is trivia on the IMDb. I mean, this is just the director. This is his like baby project, right? Like he just wanted to do this so much, and he finally did Maverick. You can tell this is filmed during pandemic. I mean, it's just horrible, and that's why it's my number one.
For some
I did like
reason,
Journey Smollett. She's great. She was also in Full House, but
yeah.
no, thank you. Spiderhead's my number one.
Well,
Let's.
I'm just glad that none of these films have insulted autistic people like they did last year.
Music.
Yes, yeah, like all of these movies that we have both listed are better than music.
Oh yeah, hell yeah. 42% on Rotten Tomatoes, 31% audience score. So even the audience is like, this is
I'm pretty sure I'm not the only person that likes this movie.
no, 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 no.
It's
I
number
mean, you're the
one.
only one I know.
Doesn't Cody like this movie?
Yeah. What were you saying? It's number one on what?
So it's the number one film on Netflix at the moment.
No, it's
The Man from Toronto, I think it is.
yes, The Man from Toronto, because I just watched that one.
Yeah, I might
It
watch
didn't
it.
end up, it didn't end up on my worst list, so that must mean something. All right, let's count it down. What's your number 10?
My number 10 is more of a disappointing one, but it's the tragedy of Macbeth.
And your number 9?
My number 9 is the Tenor Bar. Again, disappointing, not crap.
What was it?
I said the Tender Bar.
Oh, the Tender Bar, yes.
Yeah.
My number 9 is Turning Red.
My number 8 is Ambulance.
I have Cheaper by the Dozen in that slot.
And my number 6 was. Oh, sorry. My number 7 was Big Bug.
I have Firestarter in that position.
My number 6 is Deep Water,
Windfall came in at my number 6.
which is an honourable mention of mine. But my number 5 is Morbius, the internet sensation.
My number 5 is King's Daughter.
My number 4 is Senior Year.
My number 4 is Blacklight.
My number 3 is Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
My number 3, my last 3 are all solid movies, just didn't work for me. Father Stew comes in at number 3.
My number 2 is The Ice Age Adventures of Buck Wild, the worst animated film of the year.
My number 2 is Dog.
My number 1 is Justin's number 7, Firestarter.
And my number 1 is Rob's top 10 favorite of the year, Spiderhead.
Have you read my top 10 today?
No, I haven't read it.
Well, it's not on there. It's just outside the top 15. And maybe I might watch it again and think, God, what I wasn't thinking the first time. That was I put on a film like beforehand, and it was like really terrible, and I wanted to watch Spiderhead, and it kind of was better because it was more it looked better made, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I'm sure do you have any other honorable mentions?
Yes, I do. Home Team, another Netflix film.
I didn't mind it.
What else do we have? Have there are two films I did want to mention because a lot of people are saying they're bad, but I don't mind these two movies. They're The Bubble and Moonfall. Do you like these?
Yeah, I liked Moonfall a lot actually, and then yeah, I mean the Bubble was fine. It's just I literally live it, so I don't know. It's just something that I live because I'm a COVID compliance officer. So
Do you all take hallucinogenics and think each other's Benedict Cumberbatch?
no, we don't. But that
That was
sounds
my
fun.
so that was my favourite joke in the film, the Benedict Cumberbatch joke.
Yeah, yeah. I like the Bubble, and I like the other one you said,
Moonfall.
Moonfall. I like Moonfall. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Windfall is definitely a dishonourable mention.
I don't have any
And I
honorable
didn't mind
mentions.
Jurassic Park Dominion as much.
No, I loved it. I mean, how could you hate it? People suck.
Yeah, I know.
Do you have any recommendations for the week?
Yes. The film I was telling you about today, 2016's Nerve, I think this is an underrated classic. We have
Tell us
Emma
about
Stone
Nerve.
and Dave Franco in this film, where about a truth or dare game, and they take part in it, and you're either a watcher or a player. If you're a player, you have to do these stunts for money, and if you're a watcher, you have to donate money and watch these people do it.
Yeah, you
And it's
said
just intense all the way through and has a really awesome soundtrack.
yeah, it's Emma Roberts, not Emma Stone.
Emma Roberts.
But
I like Emma Roberts.
it's yeah, no, it's a good. I actually like this movie. It's thrilling. It's very interesting. Uh, you know, a lot of movies kind of came out around the same time that's very similar to this, and I think this one worked. So good pick.
What other films came out around 2016 that are like Nerve?
No, I mean it's just movies about like being online, you know, playing games online. Yeah, like trying to bring the online universe out into the real city,
What,
around
like
to
Ready Player One?
yeah, Ready Player One. Um, oh, I can't think of the name right now. Something's like super similar, or it was a horror film.
Truth or
I don't
Dare?
know.
The one with Lucy
Truth.
Hale?
Yeah, I actually I do a hand double in that movie.
What, Truth or Dare?
Yeah, I'm holding a phone. It's really funny.
No way.
Yeah, that's really funny. All right. Well, yeah. My recommendation. If you haven't, go check out The Black Phone or Elvis. I think those are both great movies that came out over the weekend. But I'm gonna do one that probably nobody is even talking about. It's definitely worth the view, but it's not one that's big right now. It's a Paramount Plus film, and it's called Jerry and Marge Go Large. And this is Bryan Cranston, and it's about how he just retires, and him and his wife, you know, are kind of in a rut. Annette Bening is his wife. They're kind of in a rut, and they just want to spend time together now. And the only way that they get to do that and actually have fun is they find a way where they can win every single time they play the lottery. This is based off of a true story. And yeah, I mean, our grandparents and moms would love this movie. I thought it was really, really sweet and a very easy watch. It's only an hour and 36 minutes, and it goes down really smooth. Plus, people love Annette Bening and Bryan Cranston. So go check this one out. It's free, it's on Paramount Plus, and it's worth the view.
Right. And that's
All
it.
right. That's it. Yeah. Next week, we're going to be doing our favorites of the year so far. But for
Yes.
now, in the comments, tell us your worst movies of 2022.
Yes. And I
Did
have a
any of them
random
make our list?
feeling that Morbius is in the top 10.
Ooh, I guess we'll see. Awesome. Yeah. So you can find me at Worth the View Movies on all the things. I'm releasing Elvis today, and I'm also going to do the Black Phone today. So check those out. And yeah, what about you?
You can check me out on Robbie's Reviews, where I've actually done my top 10 list already if you want to check it out. But me and Justin are going to discuss ours in more detail next week.
Yes. And until then.
Until next time.
Yes. Until next time. There's nothing you're not worthy of.
Definitely. Bye, Justin.
There you guys. Bye, Rob.
Later.